All right, so now we're going to look at a few word problems that would require point slope form. So when it involves like a constant rate or speed and gives a relationship at some point in time between each variable, an equation can be written in point slope form. So let's remember what point slope form is. Okay, you have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where your point is x1, y1, and your slope is m. Okay, so Marty is spending money at an average rate of $3 per day. So that average rate of $3 per day, okay, that is my slope. An average rate of change, whatever it is per day, that's my slope. Okay, after 14 days, he has $68 left. The amount left depends on the number of days that have passed. So identifying your variables in this situation. Okay, so X is your days. Because that would be, because you have your money per day. The Y is how much money you would have left. Okay, now, for this next question, I'm only going to fill in things that apply, the stuff that I know for this particular problem. Okay, I know my slope is 3. And actually -3, because I'm spending that, I'm spending that amount per day. Okay, so my slope is a -3. And then the only other thing that I have is 14 days and $68 left. That is one of my points. Remember that the X value is days and the Y value is your $68 that is left. So that is a point. So 1468 is a point. Okay, and so since I have a point and my slope, this is where I can write that point slope formula. Okay, so y minus my y1, so this is x1 and y1, and this is my m. So y minus y1, which is 68, equals m, -3, parentheses, x minus x1, which is 14. This would be my point slope equation. Okay. Now it says use the equation that I just wrote to find the amount of money he began with. So I want to know how much money he had to start with. And so what that means is when we're talking about how much you began with, I'm talking about day 0. Okay, and your X value is what represents your days. So I'm going to plug in a 0. So this is talking about my X value. So at day 0, so y minus 68 equals -3, parentheses, 0 minus 14. This represents the starting point at day 0. Okay? So y minus 68 equals -3. 0 minus 14 is -14. Okay? -3 times -14 is 42. And then I would add 68 to both sides. And so when I add 68 to both sides, I get 110. Okay? And so that is your starting amount at day 0. Okay? So he began with $110. Okay, and so now let's look at example 2. All right, so Diane knows a phone call to a friend costs 25 cents for the first 3 minutes and 10 cents for each additional minute. The number of minutes you call and the cost of the call are related. And so that tells you, that sentence tells you what your X and your Y values are. So your number of minutes that you called, that's your X. The cost of the call is your Y. So how many minutes you call and the cost of your call, okay? All right, so we have to think about what we were given in this problem. I know that my first 3 minutes, the first 3 minutes is 25 cents, okay? So remember, minutes is X, cost is Y. That is one of my points. So 1 point is 3. So 3 minutes is 25 cents. So that's 0.25. When you're talking about money and cents, you got to put that point, that decimal place there. Okay? Now, the other thing I know is that it's 10 cents for each additional minute. Okay? And so this is just saying for every minute after 3 minutes, I'm charged 10 cents. That is my slope. Okay? So that's 0.10. 10 cents would be 0.10. So this is my point. This is X1, Y1. This is M. Write an equation for the situation. So Y minus Y1, 0.25 equals 0.10 X minus X1, which is 3. This says use your equation to find the cost of a 30-minute call. So 30 minutes, minutes are your X's, okay? And I'm wanting to know my cost, so I'm going to plug in 30. Y minus 0.25 equals 0.10 times 30 minus 3. So Y minus 0.25 equals 0.10. 30 minus 3 is 27. I'm going to multiply that by 0.10 and get 2.7. And then I'm going to add 0.25 to both sides. So that would give me 2.95. And so that's saying the cost of a 30-minute call is $2.95. Okay, now we can't go back in and fill in these other values. So like a second point, I could plug in any number that I want to for X. So let's say 5. If I wanted to know the cost for a 5-minute call, I would plug in 5 for my X. So Y minus 0.25 equals 0.10 times 5 minus 3, not 2. Okay. So that would give me 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 times 0.10 is 0.2. So Y minus 0.25 equals 0.2. And then add 0.25. Okay. That would give me 0.45. So for 5 minutes, it's going to cost me 45 cents. Okay. And then your y-intercept is your, like what it costs to talk for 0 minutes, basically. Okay. And so this is just saying, regardless, you're going to pay 25 cents. Okay. So if I plug in 0 for X, I get 0. So my y-intercept is 0.25. The first 3 minutes, that's 25 cents, period. You can talk for 10 seconds, it's 25 minutes, or 25 cents. Okay, so I'm gonna let you work through the problems now.